What is up, Planeswalkers? Theorix6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. Be sure to head on over to flipsidegaming.com and use promo code 6SYX for 10% off of orders over $10. Now, we're going to be playing a Dimir QuasiDuplicate deck. Now, this deck is not of my creation. This is a recent MTGO 5.0 list, and the reason we're doing this is twofold. One, I saw plenty of people ask for QuasiDuplicate, and I figured, might as well give it to them now. And this dude's playing some interesting spicy cards. For example, he's playing a singleton Gruesome Menagerie and Ritual of Soot and Midnight Reaper in a QuasiDuplicate deck. And I was like, that's some spicy memes. And then I checked the sideboard and I found some more spicy cards. So, essentially, what I gathered from this deck, oh, by the way, it's a Troy GG, I think it was 36. He was the one who actually piloted the deck to 5.0, so just give him a shout out there. I played around with this deck, and it is hilarious. It does seem that you kind of need to be on good footing in order to do well. If you fall behind against control, it's relatively difficult to come back. But if you can get a single foothold, you can easily snowball your way into a very dominant position. So we're just going to go through the deck. There's a lot of interesting interconnected pieces here, and I probably won't be able to describe all of them, but it is a very interesting deck. Unfortunately, of course, it's relatively... Oh, this doesn't have the mythic cost. Interesting. It has a decent number of rares and mythics. I think it's 7 rares, or 7 mythics and 20-something rares. So this is not a cheap deck, but it's a very interesting deck. So we're running 3 Stitcher Supplier. That might sound really weird, but we are running QuasiDuplicates, so we don't mind if those get tossed in there. Necrotic Wound benefits from having more creatures in there. We have Gruesome Menagerie to get some of the cards back. And we have Memorial to Follies. Interesting, but it's in there. Necrotic Wound is a decent-ish removal spell. I'm actually a little surprised by this, but the fact that this exiles, I think, is one of the biggest reasons. That's my assumption. The biggest reason that this is being run. We're running 2 Dusk Legion Zealots and 4 Seekers Squires. Just, I assume, ways to put down things early. 1, to block against aggro, as well as to pressure any sort of control's life total, as well as making sure you stay, card advantage neutral at the very minimum with them. 2 Thought Erasers. The Surveil helps to dump things into our bin if we need to, as well as being pesky against control. A spicy single copy of Midnight Reaper has actually been really beneficial for me, because since you have the QuasiDuplicates, you're going to be able to get several copies of this, and against board wipes, you're going to be able to refill your hands, and as I said, as long as you get a single foothold, it's very easy for you to come back into a dominant position. So a single Midnight Reaper has actually been really good for me. It allows you to put on pressure against control and not worry too much about destruction-based board wipes. Thief of Sanity, very similar, is a nice way to put pressure on control decks. It is relatively weak in the aggro matchups, but we have plenty of things on 4 to deal with those, as well as things on 2 to put a little bit of stopgap so we can get to 4. Very strong card, and the fact that it's in the main deck is really nice. For QuasiDuplicates, the reason we're playing this deck, it copies a bunch of stuff that is really helpful. You hopefully will see in the games, but this card is strong. Obviously, your opponent can remove the target. Obviously, your opponent can just counter the spell, but the fact that this can be a 3-mana copy of pretty much any card in your deck is really helpful. 3 Chupacabras, 3 Hostage Takers, essentially performing the same function. This is creature removal. Hostage Taker is nice because you're going to be able to get extra benefit off of it because you can cast their cards. There's a nice little steal your stuff sub-theme here. But these cards are really great against specifically Niv Mizzet. If you're just I don't need to deal with this, you just go pop those off, and it's really nice. Ritual of Soot, it blows things up. We do have things that die to it, but either we have Midnight Reaper and we don't mind, it's not going to be super balanced, or we're chump blocking against aggro anyway, and we just need to use this to survive. Doom Whisper, very strong card against control. It's a nice 6/6 body for 5. We can surveil, get stuff in our bin. Yeah, it's good. 1, Gruesome Menagerie. Even if you don't have, all 3 targets, it's still, a 2-for-1 card. And the fact that, all of your targets are good on their own, getting just 2 of any of these back is usually fine. I will say this is probably the weakest card in the build. My assumption is he just wanted a little bit of extra oomph against control. And I will say, I didn't modify this deck at all. And I didn't want to modify it because this person has a lot of interesting card choices. So I wanted you guys to see exactly what this type of thing, what a 5-0 list can look like. And then of course we leave off with 4 Dream Eaters. This card's, I mean, it's strong, right? You get to bounce some stuff, surveil some stuff. If you're able to have QuasiDuplicate after a Dream Eater, you can pay 6 mana and a card for 2 more Dream Eaters. That's 8 more surveil and 2 more bounces. Incredibly strong. The mana base, not too much to talk about other than the fact that we do run Memorial to Follies. This helps us with the fact that we're surveilling stuff into our bin, we're Stitcher supplying things into our bin, and we're going to be able to get stuff back. So it's very helpful. Onto the sideboard, we are going to be playing best of 3 games just because this deck is really cool, and I think the sideboard is really cool. So 2 Duress, obviously against Control. Disdainful Stroke as well against Control, Negates, Control, and some mid-range decks. Moment of Craving, a little bit more help against the aggressive decks. Ritual of Soot, bring in more, essentially turn ourselves into a Dimir Control deck. Vraska's Contempt, I found this is really strong against the Drake decks as well as just any control or mid-range strategy. And then Vampire Sovereign. The dude is running a 2 Vampire Sovereigns in the sideboard. My assumption is you bring this in against like any sort of like fast-ish deck or decks that have burn, and you have a 5 mana 3/4 flyer that drains, and you can QuasiDuplicate it. It's so cool. So once again, big shout out to Troy GG. But we're gonna go ahead and play some nice best of 3s with this deck, and hopefully have a lot of fun. I'm drinking lemonade. I forgot to mute myself. Awkward. There we go. Alright, let's see. We are up against LS 84. Gonna go play first. This is fine. We don't have good QuasiDuplicate targets, but we have stuff to do. And our mana situation is fine. We will need double blue for the Quasis, but should be okay. Just running Stitcher Suppliers. As I said, this is not a deck of my design. Feel free to, comment things that you might change to this deck. If you've seen decks similar to it, if you play decks similar to it, let me know what type of stuff you are running. But, I mean, it's an interesting deck. It's essentially Dimir midrange that just runs cards that work really well with QuasiDuplicate. Hostage Taker is nice to see. Go ahead and Drowned Catacomb. Let me get some more information here. So we dumped a lot of good things into our bin. We are going to need at least 1 more land. Hopefully one of them is blue, and we can get our Hostage Taker value on. Opponent also seems to be on Dimir. Potentially a control. Yep, probably a control deck. Potentially Grixis, as opposed to just Dimir, but do not know that as of just yet. Right, they kept all of it on top. We did get another island, or another land, which is nice. So if they do end up playing something on 3, we can go ahead and steal it from them, or at least delay them. So if they... Oh, Sultai, okay. Gift of Paradise, interesting. So it looks like they're on Sultai Control. Gruesome Menagerie, does that get me things? It gets me a 1 and a 2. We don't want to play a Hostage Taker out for no value. That's one of the difficulties with our 4-drops, essentially, is that, like, they're all reactive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our opponent's on 5. We don't want them playing a Planeswalker, obviously. But that's probably what this deck is. Campaign? Sure. QuasiDuplicate is nice to... We can just chuck that out. I don't think we have a ton of stuff to do with enchantments. Out of the side, we have, like, Duresses and Negates. But not a ton. I assume they're going to Thought Erasure us now. Nope, just Discovery to bounce it back. So yeah, unfortunately, this is not a very aggressive hand. Sultai Control, looks like. And let me get back. Seekers Squire, Supplier. Not a great haul, but I do think that we might need to just do it in order to have some sort of pressure here. I don't really care which resolves where. I'll keep that in the library. It's a thing to do. Let's see what we got. So Seekers Squire, Necrotic Wound, Swamp. Those are fine drops to the Stitch Supplier, to be honest. Let's see, 6 mana. What are you gonna cast? Yep. Once again, I can just drop the QuasiDuplicate. It's only half a discard. We have a 4-turn clock on our opponent. All right, they cut that. They cut that a bit. I'll keep it on top. Why not? Of course, we're probably going to lose our Hostage Taker. These all die to Ritual of Soot. Opponent on an interesting deck. I would love to see more of what he's doing than just the baseline control stuff. But that seems to be all he wants to do. Okay, search for Ascanta, sure. We'll keep attacking you and play another Squire. Honestly, I think my opponent is going to be able to just make us discard this Hostage Taker anyway, so I think we should just get use out of it. And some of you might have been yelling at me to do that last turn, and I should have, but I'm going to keep that on top. Because we can't just keep going through Squires. But, of course, if our opponent plays something like a Muldrotha here, that would suck. But I assume my opponent isn't playing that? I mean, the Gift of Paradises make me think that, but I don't think anyone's actually playing Muldrotha except for me. I don't know why. I went to concede there. God, opponent. Control matchups are already long. What? What? Well, this is interesting. Alright, well, I have a 2-turn clock on him, but I assume he got Ritual of Soot, is my guess. Come on, something good on top. That is a land. And we're just going to play it. Because we want to be able to, like, if we top deck a Dream Eater, then we want to be able to cast it. So they flipped their Ascanta. They have 6 cards in hand. They search for 1. My assumption is our board's getting blown up. And we're gonna mill 9 more cards. Yeah, I'm almost certain that that's what he got with the Mastermind's acquisition. Down to 27 cards in the library. Alright. So I'm glad that we played that land last turn. I don't think our opponent is playing, like, counterspells. They might be, but I would rather... So I could cast Dream Eater here. But I want to give my opponent as little chance to interact with it as possible, and it does look like my opponent is on non-counterspell situation. And then there, like, if I'd cast the Dream Eater, then my opponent could just Eldritch Reborn, so. So that's fine. Curious. Okay. I'll cast the Dream Eater. I don't think that we... So if it resolves, I don't think we pop back the Eldritch Reborn, but it looks like he does have Sinister Sabotage here. Unfortunate. That is probably our grave, unless we can top deck something good. Alright, well, we got another one. I guess since our opponent's shields are down, we'll go ahead and play this. But I wouldn't be surprised if they had the third cast down. Wait, did they actually have the third cast down? Alright. I mean, the Memorial to Follies, I think, are just way too slow. So... opponent's on 6. I'd play the Memorial. They'd get something. But I have, like, access to pretty much everything. It's hard. I think I'm going to keep it on top. I don't really want to give them back the Eldest Reborn. I don't really want to give them back the thing, so I'm not going to. But I assume my Dream Eater's dead anyway. Yeah, they had all 3 cast downs. That is unfortunate. And I know what I'm top decking. They're gonna get to a thing. I think we're too. They're at 6, but I want more games. Would you play? Yeah, nah, we're done here. Alright, so our opponent is like Sultai Control with a lot of enchantments. So Chupacabra is not very strong. Stroke, negates, duresses, possibly contempts. I didn't really see any creatures out of them though, so I think not. I think we just want like maximum good cards. I think Chupacabra doesn't do enough. We didn't see like any creatures out of them, so let's see. Necrotic Wound, yeah. So I think like that. See if this helps us. Yeah, unfortunately, the first game we just didn't have enough pressure early enough. I mean, it's possible that just playing the Hostage Taker on 4 would have been better, but we can't. Like, obviously, if I had played Hostage Taker on 4, that would have dealt, theoretically, the 6 extra damage that we were missing, but we don't know how the game would have changed. Our opponent was doing a lot of, you know, information gathering and things like that. Check my internet still connected. Just had to double check. I guess my opponent is just taking maximum time. I do wish that they had some sort of indication here of how long our opponent still had. Thank you. I got really worried because Arena has not great connection, like service system thing. I'm going to play first. Ooh, this is a bad hand. Like, Zealot could... Like, we have the ability to cast Doom Whisperer. Zealot draws us a card. But if we draw, like, lands, then I think we're just too slow. I really don't like the idea of mulliganing this hand, though. Pause the video. Let me know what you guys would do. Would you mulligan or would you keep? I think I'm going to keep. Obviously, the Zealot is a blind Zealot, but... yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm confident in that decision there. Like, literally any draw's fine. QuasiDuplicate's fine. Alright, Duress is nice. Duress is something to do. I do think I just Dusk Legion Zealot here. I want to get this down earlier than later. Cool, I got Seekers Squire. So next turn, I can Duress and Seekers Squire. So, I like my sequencing there. Thought Erasure is what I assume is going to happen. Nope, just more discoveries. That's fine. So Duress takes anything annoying, and then with that information, we cast Seekers Squire. Hostage Taker is fine. We do Duress first because we want to get the information. Alright, let's see. So they have double sabotage. So for me, here it's between Cast Down and Search for Azcanta. I think Search for Escanta just gives more value over time. They don't even have double blue, so like, I wouldn't have taken the sabotages anyway, but the fact that they didn't have double blue means that they have to rely on top decking it. They also don't have green, so they still have to rely on top decking that. So, unfortunate that we got a land there, not only because Seekers Squire is just a 1/2, but because we drew a land and not, you know, anything else. So, all right, so they're looking for land. That's what they kept on top of the other with the other discovery. So, yeah. Still with the lands. I do think I just cast Hostage Taker here. Seeing their deck from game 1, I don't think there's anything my opponent is going to be trying to do. I thought this was creature and opponent controls. That's actually fine, because we can theoretically get more value out of our Dusk Legion Zealot, and if they kill Hostage Taker, we'll just get it back. I went with Zealot because it just draws us a card. It's possible Squire's just better. They still don't have double blue, but yeah, they're going in for some Chemist's Insight stuff. Thought Erasure is nice here. Do I Thought Erasure or do I Zealot first? I think I would rather have the Surveil and Information first. Let's see. So they still don't have double blue. They could Gift of Paradise next turn, which would give them access to double blue. So I think what I do is take the Gift of Paradise, since that would turn these on, and they'd only have access to cast down. Obviously, they can Field of Ruin, but that's just such a slow plan that I think I'm fine with it. And I actually think I'm fine with keeping the Stitcher Supplier on top, because it allows me to cast Supplier and the Zealot, giving me a decent-ish board. So we also have Doom Whisperer. My opponent might fire off their cast down before my Doom Whisperer comes down. So Dream Eater in the grave, not great, but we did get rid of 2 more lands. So we don't have a great board presence here, but we do have a board presence. Yeah. Go ahead and just attack here. And I'll probably just end up playing the Thief of Sanity. My assumption is that my opponent is going to kill the Thief of Sanity. We are going to play an extra one. We don't know what that is. It's possible we should have kept that. But my assumption is they cast down the Thief of Sanity here and Field of Ruin me in order to get double blue. No, Chemist's Insight. Drop in the green. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, but that's the play they made. Oh, right, Ritual of Soot kills all this. No, it doesn't kill this. So yeah, okay, so they don't have double blue. So I can play Doom Whisperer now, and their shields are down. So I'm actually going to keep both of these lands in my hand. Ooh. I also got them to use a Murder. Very good for me. Very, very good for me. So they have a bunch of counterspells that I don't care about. Because they have to deal with my board as it stands. They probably have something, but yeah, I mean, it looks like this deck is just hard Sultai Control. Instant, yeah, so it looks like they can get back cast down and kill my Doom Whisperer, but then they won't be able to counter a spell, and I'm gonna set up Doom Whisperer such that I can cast something, and then over the course of 2 turns, I can just whittle them down, right? So I'm under pretty much no pressure, so I need to go until I can find something worth getting back. Gruesome Menagerie is not worth getting back. Whoa, calm down. View browser. Yeah, I don't think I want either of these. I guess it might be worth it if my field dies. Yeah. I'm not sure. QuasiDuplicate is not bad. As I said, I'm not under any pressure against this deck, so I can pretty much go wherever. Stroke? Nope. I'm going down real low. And this is yeah, you know what? Potentially just the stupidest decision ever, but we went from like 16 to 6. Oh gosh. All right. Yeah, so we're gonna quasi-duplicate the Seekers Squire here. This gets a sorcery, right? So they could get a discover. I don't think I want to quasi-duplicate right now. I feel like I should have kept the Doom Whisper. Or the gruesome thingy. You know what? No, I'm going to. I'm going to clone the clone. It's a little annoying, but it is something we can do. But our opponent has to do with this hand. So they need to discovery straight into Ritual of Soot. They need exactly Ritual of Soot. Obviously I don't know what these cards are. So it's possible that's what it is, but using blue here seems like a mistake. Do they have another land? Oh, you know what? Could just be Golden Demise. Yep. It's a good play by my opponent. I'm not gonna lie. Alright, very unfortunate top deck. Because now our opponent can sit there with a bunch of shields up. Yeah, possibly just terrible sequencing on my part. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should have dug even deeper. It's possible I should have just kept the Gruesome Menagerie on top with the quasi-duplicate. No, I don't know. I should also be paying attention to what my opponent's doing. They're just using Discover a lot. There's no way they're gonna not keep the counter spells open. Yeah, I mean, they got rid of a kill spell. Pretty much no way they're not just going to pass here. Yeah. Unfortunately, it looks like I'm 1 away. No, I'm 2 away. I'm 2 away from being able to just end of turn Memorial to Folly and cast Dream Eater. I don't think we play another land. Maybe just pass. Yeah, as I said, this deck struggles a little bit when it's behind. Yeah, my opponent doesn't have to do anything. So there's a couple of different things I can do here. I can get something super cheap and just hope my opponent doesn't counter it. They have 3 counters, they're going to counter anything I get. So I guess I just take the Dream Eater here. And I think I got... Yeah, I think I used all of my negates, so not much I can do, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I had played the Watery Grave last turn, I could have cast Midnight Reaper and Dream Eater, but my opponent has enough mana to do both, so it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, so I just pass the turn. And end of their turn, I cast Dream Eater, and then Dream Eater gets countered, and then I Midnight Reaper, and then that gets countered, and then I cast whatever else I top deck. So I need to top deck something good. That doesn't change anything, I don't think. I mean, it changes the clock I have on them, but it doesn't change the amount of blue my opponent has access to, unless auto tap screws them. So we are just going to cast this. I mean, it's going to get countered, but not really much I can... Ooh. Oh, right, they just have removal spells instead. But they do only have one counter spell. So all I need to do is play a good creature. I'm going to choose no. So here I just Midnight Reaper. They counter this, and then I play Doom Whisper. Seasons don't fear the Reaper. My opponent didn't counter the spell. What the heck, man? You didn't counter. Fudge. My opponent has removal spells. I can't cast Doom Whisper. He's going to counter it. QuasiDuplicate gets countered. And I don't have enough mana to flash it back. Ah, that sucks. Yeah, I think I just fudged it. Looks like my opponent's just going to kill it, yeah. They didn't kill it. Alright, well. I'm going to die. Opponent might have 2 kill spells, I suppose. Didn't kill either of them. Ritual of Soot does draw me 2 cards. Yeah. Does draw me 2 cards. Is it gonna hurt? More QuasiDuplicates, alright. Cast Hostage Taker. It resolved. Cool. I'm gonna just pass the turn. Opponent is gonna kill this, I suppose. Ugh. Well, I wanted to play 2 videos, or play 2 games, but I have stuff to do, so good old 1 match video. Yeah, I think I just mismanaged this, unfortunately. And of course, you guys don't just get to see the games that I win. Unfortunate. But, Castle of Eye. It's a very interesting deck. I did get it to work. It is a deck that can work. Just didn't get it to work in this specific instance. I would like to thank my patrons for their love and support, especially Zurag and Salamander. If you'd like to join them supporting the channel, you'll find links to that in the description down below. I do hope that this deck was interesting, even if the video may not have been. If you liked it, go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, and cast a comment to the comment section down below. And until next time, all will be one.